You bet. We'll see you then.
A billboard welcomes you to Millersburg. The gazebo in the town square is a point of pride for the locals, a logo for the town nestled on the sleepy banks of the Susquehanna. But in Millersburg, all the signs point to the greatest attraction, the Millersburg Ferry. The boats, 2 in number, consist of the Falcon and the Roaring Bull. For over 175 years, these vessels have provided transportation for people and the commerce of the day. Because of the shallow depth of the Susquehanna in this area, many airboats can be found in use. Jack Dillman has over 25 years' service with the Millersburg Ferry and is the senior captain. He enjoys relating his experiences.
I had a chance to work with Hunter and Radel. They were the long-time ferry owners from about 1906 until 1968. So I'm a Hunter and Radel trained man. Also because I was on during that period in the 40s, I not only had a chance to steer the first Falcon and the second Roaring Bull, which were in operation at that time, but also a couple of coal digger steamboats, something that's long gone from the river now. The first private owner that we know anything about was Michael Crow. He didn't operate the ferry he owned, he would lease it out. In addition to the ferry, in fact, he had a sawmill and a farm. Now, the last private owner of the Millersburg Ferry was Robert Wallace. He also had chicken houses and an orchard. He didn't operate the ferry, he would lease it out. Now this all came to an end in 1990 when community banks over here at Millersburg bought the ferry from Wallace for $10,000. Then community banks turned around and gave it to the town of Millersburg for free. A very good thing, because for Millersburg to attempt to buy the ferry and maintain it, it would just simply have been too much. Even now, as we speak, the town is having a very rough time of it, mainly because here you're looking at 19th century technology trying to put up with 20th century regulations. deepest water is actually between Whitefish Island and Crow's Landing, the last 300 yards of our travel. That's why that section is referred to as the Old Raft Channel. In the spring, as many as 500 rafts would come down by. Not that the Susquehanna is that great, but the old raftsmen had to go where the best water was available, and to them, the best of it all in this area was this last 300 yards that we're getting ready to cross.
Landing the ferry at Crow's Landing is a one-man operation.
The last time steam was owned by the Millersburg Ferry was right around World War I. By the end of World War I, they had done away with it and were going into internal combustion. However, on June the 14th, 1948, something had gone wrong with the second model of the Roaring Bull. I don't remember what it was, but I do know we borrowed a coal digger steamboat, and for a week, we were hauling cars back and forth with it. At the end of the week, the second Roaring Bull had been repaired, so the coal digger steamboat was returned, and that was the end of steam forever on the Millersburg Ferry. Too bad.
The Falcon is at rest after another day of service. Near the landing on the Millersburg side is Tina's sandwich shop. Tina Fetter is a board member and has her special memories of the ferry.
Well, in 1987, my son was born in September, and the end of October, I think it was the beginning of November, we had him baptized on the ferry. We decided we wanted somewhere quiet and peaceful, and so we went out in the middle of the river and had our minister come down, and he baptized our son. It was like halfway in between Halfway Island and First Corner. Last year we accommodated, I think the numbers were like 40,000 people. And that was just walk-on passengers. Then, you know, it had a certain number for the cars, but with each car there was also a passenger too. And so I'd say we accommodated probably close to 50,000 people.
Over at the Chamber of Commerce, the operations manager, Jerry Dillman, keeps the business end of the Millersburg Ferry going.
We knew the hunters and the radels when they had operated. That's when I was a little boy. And they're the ones that taught my brother his routine as far as learning about the boats and how to operate the boats and things like that. They were his teacher. And we were very good friends as long as I can remember. And it's always been part of my life. I mean, it's just like part of me, you know. I've known nothing else but to have the boats around.
In the winter, the boats are removed from the Susquehanna for inspection and maintenance. The boats have definite personalities.
You'll find if you're on the Roaring Bull, you feel like you picture yourself on a charging bull. That boat has get up and go, and you start out with a surge, and it seems like that boat, you can feel the power behind that boat, just like you're trying to hold on to a raging bull. Now you take the falcon. A falcon is a bird that soars, and it's smooth and it glides easy, and it seems like it's kind of sure of where it's going. The falcon's that way. The falcon isn't a rough ride. It's a quiet ride. It's a smooth, graceful ride, and it seems like when they handle it, you put your mind of the falcon, like the bird, soaring through the air. It almost gives you the same personality trait. Although they both get you here to there, it just seems like each one has their own personality.
This door, located on the Crow's Landing side, is used to signal the captains on the Millersburg side that someone is waiting to cross. When the ferry arrives, the reset of the signal is a simple process. A local utility uses the ferry on a regular basis.
To give you a rundown on the Pennsylvania Power and Light Company, they are the Millersburg Ferry's oldest regular customers. They've had an account with us since 1929. As a result, on each ferry boat, there's a clipboard for their benefit. When they come aboard, they'll sign the clipboard, and at the end of the month, the paper on there is turned in to get our bill paid. But it's, to me, a very appropriate thing that here we have a river 444 miles long. At one time, there were over 100 ferries on it. Now, the Millersburg Ferry is the only commercial one left. And yet, this is one of the most beautiful sections on the Susquehanna River. How ideal.